Hello everyone and welcome to the next in our series of daily origami for YouTube. Today we're going to be starting our new kind of approach to these videos here, and I wanted to do a few traditional models to kind of refresh our memory on some things and do a few that I haven't even had a chance to do yet, so that's going to be cool. We're going to start today with the crane, and this of course is just a really common standard sort of origami in the world of origami and has so much meaning behind it, which is really cool too. So what we're going to be doing today is I'm going to be using just a standard piece of 15 by 15 centimeter paper, and you just need one of those, and you can go ahead and of course use any size that you prefer. It'll just of course make your crane a little bit bigger, but we'll go ahead and I'm just going to be using a standard piece of red origami paper here so that we can make our crane. So when we do the crane fold, the first thing we want to get to is a square base, which there's a lot of different ways to do this, but the way that I find to work the best for me personally is to get the creases set, and then I can squash it all down into the place that it needs to be. So what I'm going to start off with is, if we start with our color side facing down, fold your paper in half both horizontally and vertically. Make sure your edges line up really good when you do this. That makes everything look better later. If you are off a little tiny bit in your folds, it can make the finished project look a little off, so it's good to kind of take care to get good creases going here. Then with the color side facing up, fold in half diagonally, creating a really big triangle here. Try to get nice points there on each side. Once we have all those preliminary creases, I'm going to look at it from the color side here, and we're going to find where those mountain creases are. Take opposite sides and just pinch them in, and everything will kind of follow the creases you've made. And then you could take and squish everything down so that it's nice and flat and creates a diamond or square shape, which is where the base gets its name from. Now the next thing we're going to do is create some petal folds. This is a really common fold in origami. We'll take the outer right edge and fold into the center. Get a really good crease there. Do the same thing on the other side too. I like to kind of turn my project around so that I can look at the tip a little better as I work. Don't worry about, you can turn things around as you work. You don't have to keep it all flat in one spot. So get both of those sides folded over. Then I want to take the top section and fold straight snug against that edge, keeping the point lined up with the center there. Make a really good crease along the back there. Open it up and open up the front two sides. Now before making the fold, I like to get the creases completed on the back as well, just to make it a little easier. Go ahead and take those edges and fold into the center here. Take the left side as well. Then take the top and fold this way down, creating another crease just right over the one we made, so that this crease at the top is going both ways. Open everything up. Now take the bottom tip and the first layer there, open it up to that crease that we made in the back, push open on that. And then we're going to let all of this lay flat and smooth out to create a really long kind of kite shape. Now the bottom section's already going the right way, so that's not a problem. But this top part does need to reverse, so we're going to take the crease that's there and make it a mountain crease instead. I'll do the same thing on this side too. Just going to smooth everything out. Try to get that to lay as flat as you can, and kind of adjust any of the creases if you need to, so that it all smooths out to be a nice big kite shape. Now flip it over, and we're going to do the same thing on this side too. Take that flap, open it up, smooth everything out on both sides. And you want to try your best to get nice smooth points down here if you can. That's kind of going to be what's going to help make it look good when we're done here. Once we've got both of these completed, I'm going to take and make everything a little narrower, because we're going to be making the head and the tail, and these two flaps here are going to be the wings. So I'm going to take this first layer here and fold it towards the center. And you want to try to get, as smooth of a point down here at the bottom as you can and fold over, creating a new edge here along the side. And I'm going to do that on all 4 of these sides. So you could take each of these here in the front first, folding towards the center, flip it over, and repeat those steps on this side. It could be a little tricky. It's nice if you have long nails to kind of help you along to get a good sharp point there, or you can use a paper clip or something like that to help you along too. But you should have the nice narrow kind of folds here. And the next thing we're going to do is take and allow these 2 little parts down here that look like legs. I'm going to allow them to fold up and out. Now, 2 ways to do this. You can first start by just making the crease like this and kind of getting a feel for how far you want to do this. Usually it comes up and goes through about, if you can kind of see here, there's this crease right here and a crease behind it too, the 2 edges. Kind of hit right between there. If you get that edge to hit right between there, that's a good angle. You can make the crease first, or you can just start off by opening everything up here and pushing and reversing it inside. And it just becomes a point of preference of which way you prefer to do things. Both ways is acceptable, it doesn't matter. But you can then reverse all of this so that it folds onto itself and creates a new point that goes right up through there. And you can play with the angle of where this goes if you wanted to kind of make a different sort of angled bird for different decorative places. Depends on when you're using it and how, but we want to just get that to go right through up there. And I'll do the same thing on this side too. I'll show you just without even making the crease. You can just push right up through here. It can only go so far here, and just reverse everything, fold this section in half. Sometimes you kind of have to fold over where the edge creases are even, because one side might be a little bigger than the other, and that's okay. Just try to get it folded in half so that you get a nice smooth edge to everything as much as you can. And get it to kind of come through at the same point as what you've already got here. So we get something that looks like this. Now we have one of these that's going to serve as the head and the other that's going to serve as the tail. I generally like to just look at it and say, okay, well, which one's the prettiest right now? This one seems to have a nice sharp point, and I'm just going to leave that and make that my tail. And then that way, this one that's maybe not folding over as good, that can become the head. And to become the head, we're just going to let part of this fold down, and we're going to be creating a crease here right along the center. Get that to fold in again on itself. And you can get a little bit of this part to fold out to become the head. And you can play with how, long you make the nose, those kinds of things. That can be point of preference, point of design preference too. But you want to get something that winds up looking like this. Then, depending on what you're doing with your project, some people just leave it like this. Other people like to open here at the wings and allow this part to kind of expand. And if you do that, you can kind of allow for something to kind of stand almost on its own here. Put a little pressure on that bump there. And you can let it come out all the way even. Oops, little bird's trying to fly away. So there's a couple of different variations of how to kind of expand this completely. If you're using it, for decorative purposes, you can kind of open up like this. It'll stand up and serve. You can kind of curl the wings down. That should give you kind of a completed crane, which is our finished project for today. Thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you next time.